Hey, Shane.
Yeah.
I love you, man.
I love you too, bro Chacho.
I love you, bro Montana.
I love you. I don't remember all
What are the other ones? We're talking about I love you, man. Woo!
Yeah. Well, did I introduce you to this, or had you already seen it?
No, I had already seen it, and I think you saw it before me, but I was like, I went through this phase. This is also like the Minisode leading into the Valentine's Day episode. We didn't just randomly decide to talk about this movie.
No, we randomly decided.
Even though we both love it.
Yeah.
I was
in a Valentine's way.
In a Valentine's way. I was in this big phase of like, I was watching a bunch of Judd Apatow, kind of Judd Apatow and Judd Apatow gang movies.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I watched Forgetting Sarah Marshall and loved it, and then I love Paul Rudd
I
anyway.
still haven't seen that.
Oh, dude, Forgetting Sarah Marshall's great.
I know
It's got a couple of jokes in there that I think about all the time.
I need to rewatch it, and I need to just like push Russell Brand in his current state out of my mind.
Yeah, and Jonah Hill's in it too, which is its own level of. Anyway, there's a time and a place for movies like this. But I Love You, Man is so good. I really like this movie.
Yeah.
My big hot take on it. So this is a minisode. This is the second minisode we've done.
Yeah.
They're just 20-minute little fun conversations. The only ones, funnily enough, that we've done have been over specific movies.
Hold on, let me check the runtime real quick.
Yeah.
Actually, it's not 20 minutes. It's 27 minutes.
We have to now make this 27
I know.
minutes.
I was like, you said
committed.
20 minutes, and I was like,
Yeah,
man, he committed
looks
to that.
down
I was
at the bar on YouTube. No. So these are designed to be both topical and cover movies that are not like full. We're not going to do lessons. We're not going to do recommendations. We're not going to play a game. We
I
just
have
want to.
so many lessons from this movie.
Dude, I have a few. I mean, like, I could talk lessons if we wanted to, but nothing like big. But anyway, my big hot take for this movie.
Yeah.
And I've been quoted on this one on Letterboxd a couple of different times by a few different people, is that this is a rom-com about friendship.
Yeah.
Like it
about
is
male friendship.
About male friendship. It is a romantic comedy about platonic male friendship.
Yeah.
And it's like beautiful and isn't making fun of rom-coms.
No.
So what I like about it is it follows all of the beats, but it's about two friends.
100%.
And I love that. I think everyone in this movie is wonderful.
Yeah.
Jason Segel plays like if Marshall from How I Met Your Mother was Barney. And that's who he is.
A very good
that's who Sydney is, and I Love You, Man.
That's really funny.
But yeah, I love this movie. I think you and I both have seen it a bunch of times at this point.
Yeah. I think I've said this recently, and I don't remember about what specifically, but this is definitely one of those movies that like every time it was on like Showtime or HBO or whatever the hell, it was an instant turn.
Yeah.
And it was an instant channel change.
You stay on it.
I was going to say an instant turn on, but that's not what I meant. Like
hey,
I would
man.
Turn it on instantly.
They talk about jerking it
Hey, Paul Rudd's a good-looking fella.
Paul Rudd's a good-looking fella. Jason Segel's a good-looking fella.
Hey, J.K. Simmons does it for me.
Andy Samberg.
Hey, man, there's a lot of... I mean...
Lou Ferrigno.
Lou Ferrigno, those freaking muscles, am I right?
One of my favorite gags in this movie is like, I put him in a sleeper hold. And he does the little... the cut on that. Yeah. So good.
Oh, very good.
But yeah, this is like a weird one because I watch it all the time. Yeah. And I think it is definitely one of the types of movies. And this is the cool part of it, I think, is that it doesn't really get made anymore. No. You know what I mean? Like, just kind of straight up comedy doesn't get made anymore. It has to be a comedy action movie or a comedy horror, or it has to have some like high concept thing to it. Like the one that just came out that I haven't watched yet, but I'm really excited about is that Jake Johnson just directed a movie. I can't remember what it's called.
It's Self-Reliance.
There it is. And that movie has the high concept thing that Andy Samberg is playing Andy Samberg coming to him to do something. It's like, there has to be a hook, you know, they don't make many just like comedies anymore. And so going back and watching this, I always think about that of like, man, I wish we would make one or two of these a year. This just kind of gets to come out and be what it is. And you know,
I think those do exist, but they're just all on like streaming and stuff, which is disappointing.
And they just get buried under a mountain of, because another movie I really liked that was on streaming is The Fundamentals of Caring, also with Paul Rudd. I've watched that 2 or 3 times. Like I really like that movie. But yeah, I love you, man.
Yeah. It's a good one, man. I completely agree about the fact that, like, it really is like a perfect little encapsulation of what a rom-com would be about best guy friends. Mm-hmm. And I think that's really fun. I think there's some of they're just up front. I mean, there's like some stuff that hasn't aged great.
Totally.
Like it is very much like a whatever 2006 mid 2000s movie, and has a lot of mid 2000s jokes in it that haven't aged great. There's nothing like super egregious. There's nothing egregious at all. It's just like lots of gay jokes.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think there's that, and I think the other side is the whole like, we're men, this is how we are. It like perpetuates that a little too much.
Oh, it is very, very, very stuck within the gender binary. But it's like,
But it's a comedy from that period.
It's not about the gender binary. It's not about breaking out of the gender binary. It just very much is about two dudes in the mid 2000s being two dudes in
love with Rush.
Yeah. And in love with Rush. Shout out to Rush fans.
What movie had a better Tom Sawyer needle drop? This one or Iron Claw? I don't know.
I mean, this one had Rush actually playing.
That is true. That is true.
I would say maybe this one.
Yeah. He was slapping the bass, man.
Yeah, like this is another. I think this is another thing that we said where it's like it is also one of those like perfect like have on in the background movies where it's like you can kind of turn away when they're saying the gay jokes, or like when something less interesting is happening, and then when you hear Paul Rudd going slapping the bass, man,
you can zip into the room and slide in, and
you can stand and stand in the corner of the room and watch the TV like your dad.
Like your dad with your hands kind of on your hips or behind your back.
That is the perfect encapsulation of that. You know what I mean? Like, this is a perfect like 3.5. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I give it 4 just because it's like a comfort movie for me. Like it's one of those like the personal aspect of that bumps it up a half star for me.
It was definitely a 4 for me for a very long time, and then like watching it recently and just like there are quite a few gay jokes that haven't aged great. Yeah. Where it was like that bumped it that half for me. But again, I think it is like a super. It is the perfect encapsulation of a mid 2000s 3.5.
Yes. Yes. What happened to Jason Segel?
What happened to Jason Segel, man?
He did a couple of Netflix movies. He did one with Jesse Plemons called Windfall or something like that.
Yeah.
And I just never heard anyone talk about it. He did another one that had a
show or whatever, like IO or whatever it was called, I think. I can't remember. He was in a show.
He's not the guy in Shrinking, is he?
He is the guy in Shrinking. That was what I was about to describe.
Okay, because I was like, I want to watch that really bad.
Yeah, that one very easily could be a podcast episode.
It seems like something I will love.
I really like it. I think you'll love it. Like I really
because I love Jason Segel. Like How I Met Your Mother is a foundational piece of television for me. I love How I Met Your Mother so much, and I miss him. He doesn't do very much anymore. Maybe I should go watch those and see how good they are.
He's been doing. I think he's done quite a bit of shows, like some that have hit, some that haven't.
Yeah, again, kind of the stuff like it gets buried on
and he was in the
streaming.
Fucking Muppets movie, so he deserves a shout out for that.
Okay, hold up. Like, let's
Wait, fuck, I love you, man. We're talking about the Muppets movie now.
Am I a man or a Muppet? is just
man, or am I a Muppet?
Certified banger. I straight up, not kidding, love that movie. I think that movie rules.
I haven't seen the movie in a clip, but obviously I've listened to that song a billion times.
We grew up on the original The Muppets movie. My dad loved it, and so we watched that all the time. And then that one came out, and I think I saw it at one point. And was like, this is fine. And then Am I a Man or a Muppet like blew up for some reason randomly, and I rewatched it. I was like, okay, why is this like really good, and why is every major star in it?
Yeah. My old school Muppet movie was Muppets in Space.
Yes,
for some reason.
yes,
that was the one that we
Space.
had and we watched a lot.
And I've still never seen Muppets Christmas Carol. Still never watched
Tragedy. It's arguably like top 3 of all time.
I know.
Christmas carols.
I know.
It might be my favorite.
The problem is the last time I had the opportunity to like watch it with a group, I was so not in the mood to sit down and watch something. It was like
you
late.
have to watch it in a group.
No. It was just like when it came on. Like they were like, we're watching it, and I was like, I'm going home. I just want to go. And then I went home and watched the movie.
I mean, it's like That movie's good.
Yeah.
Damn it. I love that
No,
one. That's a
look,
classic.
I've heard nothing
Maybe
but
that'll
incredible
be our
things.
Christmas movie next year.
Bet. I'm super into that.
What was our Christmas episode this year?
This is a confusing question. It was How the Grinch Stole Christmas.
Okay, right. Yeah, it was How's the Grinch Stole Christmas. It wasn't anything else.
It wasn't anything else at all. Not at all.
Yeah. No, I will make you watch.
I'm super into that.
I will watch A Muppet Christmas Carol.
I'm excited. You get all the fun. I get horror month,
Yeah.
and you get all the other holidays.
Well, yeah.
I do have some Valentine's Day for next year that we'll watch.
Yeah.
If I don't make us watch them sooner because I love the movies, but. Anyway, back to I Love You, Man.
Back to I Love You, Man.
Bits, favorite jokes, favorite gags and goofs.
The one that always made me laugh the hardest was when they're at the Rush concert and they're like basically making out, and Rashida Jones is just like looking over.
Yeah.
It's the part where he's singing, and again, the gay jokes, but it makes me laugh.
Yeah.
Where he's like singing and he's got the fake microphone and he's like going lower and lower and lower and looks like he's simulating something else. It's just real that for some reason that always like got me. But it's like how do you beat slapping a biz?
Slapping
like, it's
a biz.
just the most iconic and quotable bit from that movie.
It truly is. Another gag I love is when he's at the open house and they meet for the first time, and the guy's like, "It's a little small for me," and he goes, "Yeah, it smells like fart."
It smells like fart. Roll down those car windows, lady.
So that one makes me laugh really hard.
Yeah.
Has one of my least favorite things to happen in movies. I hate watching people vomit in movies.
Yeah.
I can't stand it. And like literally I covered my screen today. I was like, I can't look at it.
Literally.
So that's something I don't love. But that gag is great.
That's a good one.
How does this rank for you in Paul Rudd like comedies?
Ooh, great question. It's definitely up there.
Because I think Paul Rudd has done so many cool...
Are we talking about his performance or like, or are we talking about the movie?
His performance.
Okay, fascinating.
Because he hasn't led as many movies as people think he has.
That's very true.
But like, how does this rate against like a Brian Fantana or...
Damn, that's such a good question. Because
he's like kind of the straight man in this, but he's also got like the funniest gag and...
I like, if we're talking about like bits that I like, the characters that have made me laugh the most, like I think Brian Fantana is going to be hard to beat.
Yeah.
But I'm pulling up the Letterboxd, baby, because I legit can't think of another one that would top it in terms of like my favorite performance.
His character in Forgetting Sarah Marshall is very funny. He's got quite a few really good gags. Because I mean, he's also done quite a bit of like drama.
Yeah.
I think he's quite good. Like The Fundamentals of Caring, like I was saying, he's quite good in The Perks of Being a Wallflower. But those are not like funny performances by any means.
Yeah, I mean, like I haven't seen this movie in a very long time, so don't judge my enjoyment of it. But Role Models, I always really liked that movie. Or I like that was another one around the same time period. Yeah. I'm sure that movie has aged like milk.
Yeah.
From what I remember about it. Yeah, I think it's really going to be hard to beat. Brian
Fantana
for me. Ooh, oh shit! Him in Wet Hot American Summer is also top tier.
That's a good one.
Damn. Yeah. I don't know, man. Like, I think you're right. I think it's funny how few leading performances he really has.
Yeah.
I mean, like he's great as Ant-Man. Mm-hmm. Like we love him as Ant-Man. All of the Ant-Man movies aren't phenomenal. But like
he's always doing his job. Like I would never blame those movies on him.
In no way, shape, or form. But that being said, he's like a co-writer on them, isn't he?
No,
he was on the first one.
On the first one, I don't think after. I definitely not the third one.
Yeah. I hope not.
He was not on the third one. Because the third one's rough, guys. Ant-Man 3, rough movie.
Yeah. What do you mean? It's perfect. I love
it. Anyway, so the Brian Fantana may be the answer, but in terms of his like leading performances, this is one of my favorites. I love this movie a lot.
100%. I think like I don't think his performance is anything super special, but like one of my favorite movies that he is in is Clueless.
Yeah.
I love that movie with every fiber of my being. That movie is so freaking
I
good.
should watch it again. I think I was in a bad mood when I watched it because I was like, this is fine.
I love it so much.
So that next question is, what are other great movies about friendship?
Great question. I don't have a good answer
because I feel like there are a ton. Like Stand By Me is one that I really think of.
Yeah.
The Sandlot is one that I really think of.
It's like hard for me not to immediately go to like buddy cop movies because that's like not really
the
question, or that doesn't really answer the question in the right way. Yeah, I don't know.
I'm trying to think of action movies where they just go, and there's no romantic thing. They're just friends.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, because I was thinking of a couple recently where I was like, oh, wow, they could have done a love story and they just chose not to. And that's great.
Yeah.
Deadpool 3 is probably going to be a pretty good, like,
that's a very
friendship
good
movie. This is a weird one, but I think Captain America, the Winter Soldier.
Fascinating. I love that answer.
I was thinking about that today and talking about like stakes where it's like, look, the fight isn't the best. Like the third act of that movie is not the best part of that movie, but it is the most emotional, which is what you want. Cause you're like, man, they're friends. I really don't want to see these two punchy. It's RRR. That's the answer. That's the best movie of friendship.
Fucking answer. Holy shit. Why did we not say that immediately?
Instantaneously. Why was that not? I'm trying to think. There's gotta be more that I'm just forgetting.
Yeah.
I don't know.
RRR is the answer, though.
RRR is the definitive answer.
I mean, then honestly, and I Love You, Man. Like, I think that really fits into that friendship canon, which that is the friendship canon is what I'm going to blast you out of later. Shove you there. Bye, bitch.
We should get a shirt made that says friendship canon.
New shirt coming to the TikTok shop next week. I don't know.
We should make a TikTok shop. We just sell pet rocks.
I'm super into that because even just having a TikTok shop will boost your engagement.
Oh, really? Is that true?
That's very true.
Oh, well, damn.
Because TikTok wants to make TikTok into a
store.
Into a store, but also a video streaming service and also a music streaming service.
And now a landscape service.
Yeah,
it's very confusing on here.
TikTok comes from the land of the everything app.
Yeah.
And it wants to also be the everything app. Sorry, this is a little inside baseball on TikTok.
Yeah. The things we deal with.
Yeah.
I'm trying to okay. RRR is the answer. Anything else on I Love You, Man? This is why this is a mini-sode. We don't have
it's a mini-sode just because like we want to talk about a thing that we love, but there's just not all that much to talk about.
There's not a ton to say.
No, honestly, it is like the epitome of a really good 3.5 from the 2000s. And I completely agree. It's like the premise of it's a rom-com about friends, about like male friendship, I think is great and I wish there were more kind of like that.
And because it's not, the reason it works is because it's not like a parody of that. It just is that.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not. There's no like big funny sound cue every time it's supposed to be about a romantic partner. It just is.
It's not a scary movie.
Yes.
What Scary Movie is to Scream, it's not that. It is a like straight over the plate rom-com, but insert a male friendship instead of
yes,
two people falling
it is
in love.
so much about that, and it's just I love that about it. I love how sincere it is.
Yeah,
like it's the stakes feel really low the whole time, but sometimes you need that. Anyone who told you a movie has to have high stakes was lying. As long as the characters are engaging and the story's fun,
like that is legitimately my least favorite parts of the movie is when it's like his friendship with Sydney is putting his like actual relationship on. Like I was like that kind of stuff. I was like, it didn't have to be
so intense. But even then, it's resolved in one scene. It's resolved in him going, "That's my bad. I'll do better." And she's like, "Cool, I appreciate that." Which is something to be said about that. I guess I don't know. I'm super into this movie though.
Yeah. Do we want to do like recommendations?
Why not? Let's do some recommendations. Let's do some recommendations. My recommendation is gonna have nothing to do with love or Valentine's Day or
Neither will
anything.
mine.
But I have been watching Nathan For You,
Hell yeah.
like so much Nathan
Hell
For
yeah.
You, and I gotta say, haven't laughed that hard at a show in a long time.
Hell yeah, bro.
I also watched The Curse and I think I might have recommended that.
I think
an
you
episode.
did too.
But
At the very least, you recommended it to me. But if you haven't, recommended it to the pod.
I've just basically, if Nathan Fielder has touched it, I'm interested in it right now. Like, I just am fascinated by what he is. Like,
because he's not human.
He's not human. He definitely isn't that. Oh, there was an edit. I tweeted this, but there was an edit. Somebody did like the Batman skins from Arkham City or something. And it was Batman and Robin. And everyone was like, why does Robin look like a 40-year-old man in this? Because he looks like a 40-year-old man. And they changed it to the like old school suits, and they gave Robin hair, but it looks like Nathan Fielder's hair from like, it's kind of gray from The Curse. Like that haircut is what they gave Robin. And so I just tweeted like, yeah, but why does Robin look like Nathan Fielder?
I love it.
And so, yeah, that was but anyway, Nathan For You is on HBO right now. That show is awesome and so funny and so original, and I highly recommend it.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
I've got two. Well, technically I have like four, but the first one's music. I do not know how to pronounce this person's name. It's either Weisblood, or Weisblood. I'm not sure. Weyes Blood. Her album, And in the Darkness, Hearts Aglow, I have been listening to on fucking repeat.
What a great title.
Yeah, it's everything about it is great. The cover's great, the music's great, the title's great. I absolutely love it. I've been listening to it nonstop. The other thing is, I don't even know if it's a recommendation more than just a description of what I've been doing recently, but for some reason, I've been on a young adult movie like series kick. So I watched all of Twilight, which is just a yearly rotation for me and Meg at this point. So because we desperately
as it should be for everyone.
Yeah, I was in like a bad mood or something like that, and Megan was like, "Do you want to watch Twilight?" And I was like, "I do want to watch Twilight." And so we watched Twilight, and then we watched the Hunger Games movies, which I hadn't seen basically since they came out. And man, those movies are crazy.
They're wild. They're
wild.
all so weird and different.
Yeah, and then we also rewatched the Harry Potter movies, which based off of the very famous books written by Daniel Radcliffe. Like those movies are all three of those were in that time period of let's make the last movie a two-parter for no reason, and all three of them I think are. With Harry Potter being the least one of these, all three of them, I think, are hurt by that decision. I think Harry Potter makes the best argument for why they should be
so much
two.
happens. Like, yes, the first one gets stretched a little thin.
Yeah.
What I would have done is just made the first one shorter. You know what I mean? But it definitely, that's the one that justifies. There's like actual real world.
It feels the most justified for sure. But holy shit, the other two, wow! Like, there's no reason why either of those movies should have been.
Hey,
split into.
You got an extra Twilight movie.
I'm not disagreeing with you because I do love the first. This is the thing. Part one. Breaking Down Part 1 might be my least favorite Twilight movie, but it is the most insane.
It is the most absolutely batshit crazy.
Fucking crazy from front to back, but nothing happens in that movie except for...
Are we going to do a Twilight month at some point and just...
I mean... We could just do some minisodes, some Twilight
minisodes. No. Deep analysis of these movies.
Oh, God.
We'll do the books. We'll do it all.
I am not reading those books.
Come on, man. They're quick.
Okay, here's the thing. I'll rewatch all the movies, and then you could reread all the books, and then we can come
Note he said reread, because I have read them.
Did you read...
Midnight Sun? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did. Oh yeah. Dude, I read that with people. We all went to Barnes and Noble together and bought a copy of Midnight Sun. And it's very cool. And then there's a thing that happens at the end that makes me really dislike it.
Yeah.
Which is a wild, how it's one of those things where it's like, you really tripped the 1 yard line.
Yeah.
Like,
that does not surprise me.
It's frustrating.
And then so I want to continue down this YA path, but I'm kind of like, I don't really exactly know what I should do next. I think it's going to be the Maze Runner movies, but I'm not positive on that. Do you have any other YA?
Divergent, but...
I know, but I really don't want to watch those.
Yeah, I would.
I really don't want to watch those. I know that's the answer.
I'm trying to think, because there was a lot of failed attempts at the...
Yeah, there was like the Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe
Aragon.
movies.
Well, there's 3 of those, so
but they didn't finish the series.
No. There's Aragon that got 1. There's
The Golden Compass.
The Golden Compass.
But now they've got that show.
Beauty or Beastly. That. Yeah. I Am Number 4 had one.
Yeah, holy shit.
Like there's quite a few that had like Dead on Arrival ones.
The Giving Tree.
I don't know.
There's one that has
I'm no longer a young adult.
Everything's in black and white, and then some dudes.
The Giver.
The Giver. Yeah.
Was that a series? Was that supposed to be a series?
I could be wrong.
There's The Host you could watch. You could watch The Host, which that's just one movie, but it was intended to be one movie.
Gotcha.
Also Stephanie Meyer.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Fascinating. Okay.
It's got Saoirse Ronan in it.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Shout out, Saoirse. We love you.
So there you go. That's a movie that definitely exists.
I think it's going to be the Maze Runner next.
I think that's the
move.
move.
Might even finish at Maze Runner.
I think that's the move.
But part of me, part of me is just like, fucking just do the Divergent movies and it'll
Don't.
be okay. Don't. Please.
As someone who's seen them, I don't need that energy around the house.
I've seen the first one, or I've seen most of the first one, and I don't think it's like awful. It's just not good. And then I desperately ran away from the. Or did they finish the like series?
Nope.
Woof. Okay.
Ends on a cliffhanger for 3 that was supposed to be 3 part 1 part 2, but they just didn't make the next one.
If that's the case, then I think I can make my peace and just say, well, they didn't even finish it, so what's the point?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll do that.
Anyway.
And then I'll just finish it. I'll just finish it off with the Maze Runner series.
There you go.
Because I've heard those are okay.
They're fun. I like the Maze Runner movies. They're definitely like young adult movies, but they're cool. They're fun. I like them.
Yeah. Anyway,
this has been.
I'll save it. Okay, one last thing about these movies. None of these movies are like phenomenal. There are some particularly great highlights in the Harry Potter series, but overall, the casting in these series is insanely good.
Yeah.
Like, particularly Harry Potter, obviously. But like, I think people like super sleep on how well cast the Hunger Games movies are. Holy shit, there are some amazing people in those movies, and they're like putting their entire Hunger Games ussies in those movies. Like, man, those like those movies aren't great, but man, people are really coming to play in those movies. Damn, yeah. Great casting. Shout out to the casting directors of those series.
Casting director possibly needs an Oscar category.
Casting director, come on the pod.
Come on the pod. The one casting director.
I would love to have like a real casting director to be like, so how do you do your
job? Like what is
how
your
does that
thing? Because I've heard it described, but I want to hear it from their angle, like what their day-to-day job is.
Yeah. So if you know anybody,
if you know anyone, reach out.
Reach out.
I would love that. That would be an amazing.
But only if they worked on one of those 3 series.
Or yes.
Or not. I don't know. Live your life. What if we just end it there?
Done. We're over. It's done.